All right, you guys. I'm hoping that we get Reven here. This is all new technology for us, so we're all figuring it out. Do-do-do. I need one of those handy dandy, like, hey, stream starting in. I just don't know how long it's gonna be. So hopefully Rev will get in here quickly. Tell everybody this is my fault. Totally my fault. So I thought Rev would get an email, and I don't think he got an email. So I think it's totally my fault. Just getting everything ready. So hopefully you guys had an awesome trading day today. Really happy to see you guys here. And as soon as Reven gets here, we'll get started. So guys, fire up your questions though. That'll be good. Get your questions going. Let's see. Oh, I have to look over here too. Boom, boom. I love it. Hey guys. Sound 2x. Is it too loud? Am I too loud? I have to bring down my voice. You know, it's funny because my wife is actually known as the loud one. I have to yell in, bring it down, bring it down. She was I met her. She was playing a flirtatious French maid in the production of The Boyfriend. So she's the one. Love it. It's good. All right, let me just check on Rev, see if Rev is able to make it in. And hopefully he can, because I know you guys don't want it to be just the Taylor show. I'm not as entertaining as Reven and Patrick are. So let's see. Let's see. Does this one work? Let's see. Studio mode. I don't see Reven in here yet. The Dodgers hat? That's totally Reven. Let's see. Boom. Copy. Again, I'm going to give him another link. So this is like the second time we've used this, so we're gonna button this down. But what questions do you guys have? So I think we already had two queued up. So one was we were gonna ask, we're gonna talk about FOMO. That's always a good one. And then the other one was, if I remember correctly, risk management. So I can't remember who was it that asked the questions. I want to find out a little bit more about the risk management one. Like, is that one, like what specifically around those things? So that'd be really good. What else you guys got? What other questions are you guys going to want to ask us today? Anything else? Guys, you guys have to fill me in on the nutty bar. I don't know the nutty bar. Oh, I got Reven. Yes, I do. Boom.
Boom. Let
There
me
you go.
turn my volume
I don't know.
down.
I don't know why that other link doesn't work. We gotta work that one out though.
I don't know what was up with that.
They were already talking smack about your Dodgers hat. So
Hey, I told him, send me a hat. Right here, we'll change it out. Andy, here's your hat, damn it. Taylor, I told everybody if they send me a hat, I'll wear it. So this one was sent to us by Andy Young. So
You give up your team that quick?
I don't have a baseball team. I only have the Packers.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so I'm good all the way around.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so thanks. I asked them for context on Nutty Bar because I guess I've been out of the loop. I thought it was trades by Matt. I guess he's moved on to Nutty Bar.
Yeah, I don't know who either of those clowns are, to be real honest. I didn't even know who ICT was until 6 months ago when Patrick mentioned him.
Oh my gosh, a friend of mine told me about ICT, and I started like looking at his his videos, and I'm like, what in the world?
How do you understand it? There's 500 million things to look at. What? It makes no sense, and people wonder why they lose money.
Yeah, and he's very conspiratorial. It's very funny. The market's out to get him. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're definitely looking at his 2 contracts on his little Robin.
Come on, don't talk about a trading god like that.
People believe. People believe.
I love it. It's
So
awesome.
this has you coming through Facebook. It has you coming through YouTube, and then however else you have it popped in. Is that how you have it going?
Right now?
Yeah.
No, we like hopefully I got to do a test on Twitter, but yeah, we could do Facebook. We're trying to figure out if we can get Twitter going and kind of stream it there. But right now it's just MarketFlow Trader channel and my channel on YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube. Okay, yeah, because it says where they're commenting from, which is really, really cool. That's cool. I didn't know that it did that.
Wait, where are you at? Oh,
So
you're
in the
in
comments, it
studio?
says Steve Jan Lindsay is commenting from YouTube.
Oh,
And then in the other chat, it said someone was commenting from Facebook.
oh,
Put more than one in there, I guess. I guess it streams multiple. That's kind of cool.
yeah. All right. Sweet. We got it. We got it going. I love it. So we had a couple questions come through. A couple good ones. Do you remember?
Let's go, baby.
Do you remember? I remembered, and I think you wrote them down. But one was around FOMO,
Mhm.
and then the other one was around risk management, which I think those are great. They're such common challenges for traders.
Where should we start?
I wanted to know, like, I can't remember who it was that asked the question, but I was kind of curious about like a little bit more around risk management, like what specifically around risk management. So you guys in the chat, if this is interesting to you, what specifically around risk management would you want to talk about? I think that's one question. And so until we get that answer, let's talk about FOMO. I like that one. It's a mindset one. I love the mindset stuff. I love talking mindset stuff. Mindset stuff is great. So FOMO, what do you think about FOMO?
FOMO, we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
It comes in several different forms. It comes in forms that people don't ever think of.
Mm-hmm.
Most people think of FOMO as, oh, dang, I missed the trade. Oh, I need to get in. And they feel like they need to chase it. FOMO also is, I dare you to turn off the charts. Well, if I turn off the charts, I might miss a trade.
Yeah.
FOMO. FOMO is not recognizing when you're supposed to move the stop up. So you have the fear of missing out. You want to lock those profits in.
Yeah.
And then there's another way. We were talking about it later this afternoon. Does anyone remember what the last one was? There was another kind of FOMO. James Sparks, I think we were talking about it. And there's so many hidden ways that we don't think of FOMO. But to define FOMO, what I do is I like to split it into 3 things. The fear of missing out. So first thing is we have the feeling or the emotion, whichever you want to call it. But then there's the missed action and then the reaction to the missed action. So then the fear of missing out, and then when you miss out, you chase.
Yeah.
So what we're looking for in our notes, in the information that we're collecting, is how do I recognize the feeling of FOMO before it happens? How do I recognize that, either that physiological feel, or the ooh feeling before it happens, so you don't chase. Do you have FOMO after you've hit your profit targets and you want to stay around for a little
Mm,
bit
mm,
longer?
yeah.
People start going into this. People go into this weird thing where they're like, "Oh, okay, I've already hit my target. Now I'm going to stay in the simulator."
Yeah.
Why? Go find something else to do. Go play with your dogs. We didn't create this trading thing in our life so we can sit here all day.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys want to hang out, I mean, it's cool, but like, we could do that like at a barbecue or something. Go. I'm sure your wife's got a million things that you could do, and that's the FOMO that I see creeping in and day out. Where it's not just, oh, I missed the trade, oh, I missed the trade, oh, I entered too late. It's all the other types of FOMO that they don't even know it.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
does what does it mean to you?
Well, it's interesting because we kind of have these multiple aspects of fear. It's like I think I heard once in uh, what is it like? It's some of the native Indians in I can't remember where it was, but like somewhere in like the North Pole, they have like I don't know 100 words for snow because there's different textures of snow and this of snow and like I don't you guys probably know more than I do about this, but I just always thought that's interesting. In certain languages they'll take a word that we use, love, and they'll have 15 variations because there's all these textures about it. And I see that with fear, right? There's all these textures around fear for traders, and FOMO is just one of the textures, but fear is the biggest probably driver of trader failure than almost any other emotion. In fact, you probably could see where some people are say, well, that was greed. It probably wasn't greed. It's probably exactly what you're defining. It's FOMO. It's fear of missing out on additional profits,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's more of a fear thing than it is an actual a greed thing. And so I love what you did there, which was kind of characterize all these textures around what FOMO actually is. And you're spot on. One of the first things that I try to do when I'm working with someone around mindset is to create awareness. Like you can't change your mindset unless you first can become aware of exactly what's happening. And so I liken it to having a fuse in place, right? A fuses are meant to prevent, electrical circuits from blowing out. And if you could put a fuse in place in your trading and take a moment and sit down and write out, I'm feeling fear and FOMO, like that might be the texture of fear that you're feeling. But that writing out, Revan, what you talked about is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think a lot of traders, before you take any trade at all, I think that should be the first thing you do. You should just write out, what am I feeling going into this trade?
Mm-hmm.
And what's my dominant feeling? If you're feeling fear, if you're feeling excitement, I just got off a call with an awesome, trader working on mindset. Excitement is a big driver for causing really bad decisions. Why are you excited? Because I'm going to make a ton of money. Like that's not a healthy emotion either. And so if we can recognize these emotions that are kind of blowing up our circuit, so to speak, and stop them, I think that's awesome. I really like what you said there. Yeah.
Let's see. FOMO. Okay, two special recipes for FOMO. Okay, so one thing that was brought up is sell to close and areas and sell to open areas, buy to close, buy to open areas. Here's a way of FOMO that most people don't think of. We're always told when it comes down to the pivot, if you're short, you close the short at the pivot, or however people hear it. So what people hear that are new to trading, what they hear is when it comes down to the pivot, you buy it. What they didn't hear was you buy to close. So therefore, they're not even knowing that they have the FOMO. They don't want to miss out on the next trade, even though it doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
I'm using that as an example, but let's think about the other side of it. Let's say that you got long at the pivot. or the VWAP, and you're told to take profit at R1, or that's what the instructions are. Some people are going to say, "Oh, I heard sell at R1, so I went short."
Mm.
Now, where did you hear that? Well, you said sell. Yeah, sell to close. Well, I sold short. Yeah, that's selling to open. So therefore, you had the fear of missing out on that little piece of work. The other FOMO, you'll you'll attest to this, is they wait 70 points in an upward direction to short. Why did you just wait 70 points of it moving upwards to try to get 3 points short? Well, they turned around and it was the perfect, everything was in place and my process said this. And no, no. Fear of missing out, didn't want to miss that tiny little win, and greed. You can put both of those together, which would be the perfect concoction of FOMO. It's a FOMO that people don't really think of, like some of the other FOMOs that we've
Yeah.
talked about. I dare you to turn the charts off in the middle of the day. Oh, here's what it was. Here's what it was, Taylor.
I do that all the time.
We were talking about
Like I'm done.
FOMO. I was talking with a client today, and the FOMO was, do I have to continually leave Rev on or leave the live trading desk on?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, but I don't want to miss the next tidbit. Oh, okay. So now we got a whole nother thing of FOMO. This
Yeah.
is the FOMO of missing that $1 million information. I don't even know how to articulate it. I don't want to miss that little piece of information that
Yeah.
Rev could say. So what
That's
my
the
answer
one
to
thing
him,
that's going to make me profitable.
right? And so what my
It's
answer
that
to
one
him
thing.
was, and he
Yeah.
agreed, was, it's I don't say new things. I'm
Yeah.
repeating myself over and over and
Yeah.
over again. You've been with us for 6 months. There's
Yeah.
nothing new that I'm going to say in the chat. And he goes, you're right.
Yeah.
So I
It's
don't.
funny. It's funny you say that because my wife is also a coach and she coaches another group of another whole, type of individuals. She coaches
Mhm.
more creatives and others. She coaches around confidence and other stuff. And, we'll often compare notes and, she'll talk about the myriad problems that she addresses in her coaching. I'm like, yeah, I got like 5. It is, we as a cohort, we're all dealing with much of the same challenges over and over and over again. And as coaches, we're often sounding like broken records because the formula is consistent. Like there's a consistent, clear formula for getting to be profitable in your trading. We just have to repeat it over and over again because we're all struggling with kind of the same stuff. It's all generally the same kind of challenges.
It is. It's all the same. It doesn't matter what profession you're in. There's a process that has to be mastered. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's the right word because I don't know if you ever master anything completely, but there's a process that has to be followed. Now everybody's process could be a little bit different in this game. But as Cheryl was talking about earlier, she works in a laboratory. There are things in her process that there are non-negotiable. You do not do them out of process. Well, why would trading be any different? Because your boss isn't looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Your boss is, when it depletes your bank account, that's when you've finally been fired. Being held accountable to yourself has got you exactly where you are now. If you're
Mhm.
happy with it, cool. If not, find something else or someone else to be held accountable, that's going to hold you accountable. I know we're kind of getting off topic, but if you want to be held accountable to another trader, okay, find that other trader. If you want to be held accountable to you or me, well, we're going to have some stipulations that you're going to have to go by. Like, make sure that you're doing the work that we're telling you to do. A good thing that we brought up today, and you'll kind of chuckle at this. When we're doing a one-on-one call, we're not suggesting things to you. We're telling you what to do. The only reason we perceive it as a suggestion is we're an adult. We've been on our own since we were 18 years old and I've paid my bills. No, you paid me to tell you how to fix your problem. So if you take them as suggestions, which they're not, the instruction, if you take it as suggestion, well, then in 30 days, when we get back together again, you're going to be fumbling and bumbling. And it was all brought up upon just the fact that, like, my first instruction is don't look at your profit or loss for the first 30 days. We get back on the call 30 days later, and here they are talking about, well, I was green for 18 out of blah, blah, blah days. And I say, how do you know that you were green? Well, after about 4 days of figuring this out, I decided that, well, I'm going to, no. I didn't waste my time telling you to not look at your profit or loss for 30 days just to throw that out there. Well, there's that. Well, another thing that they do. Well, I thought that this stop was too much, so I'm just going to use this stop. What? Well, I thought that $500 worth of risk on every trade was a little too much, so I'm just going to risk 200. What? How do you even know what the outcome that I'm trying to have you find is if you're over here tinkering with the rules that I've given you? This goes with FOMO. This goes with risk management. I mean, if you're in the simulator collecting the data, you have no risk. Why are you taking a smaller stop? Well, I don't know. I just thought. Okay, stop thinking. You're not helping yourself. Slow down. So when people come to me in the second call, Taylor, or the third call, it always goes back to, I want you to watch the first video again. I want you to go back to the basics of what we first started. Go into the simulator, screw it up, document, analyze, optimize, repeat. Nowhere in there did I say open up 4 combines and lose 18 times. Fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Think
I think
about
there's
that.
I think there's a lot of there's the aspect of fear, and that's kind of the symptom of what probably is bigger challenges that we have, and things that kind of I know from my own history and
Hold on, Taylor.
yeah.
Trade Doc, you're in the wrong room, bud. Read the room. Go ahead.
Yeah, trade doc. We're not going to talk. Yeah, we're not. I don't even trade natural gas.
I got natural gas.
Love
Sorry.
it. But there's often bigger challenges that we're tackling, and one of the biggest challenges, and actually this is all fresh in my mind because I just got off of a coaching call, and it was a great coaching call. And one of the things that we talked about is how the brain works and how we create neural pathways in our brain through the things that we do and the things that we think. And often we're bringing sometimes months or years worth of the same kind of thinking that we've been in over and over again. We're bringing that to the table. And so it often seems like we can't break these habits. The reason we violate our process rules is because we always violate our process rules. That's what we do. That's the neural pathways that we've created for ourselves, is we deviate from whatever process rules we have. And sometimes it takes just very simple acts of discipline. And you can start small, like make your bed every morning.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just every morning, get into the habit, make your bed. Just start there. And then go into the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Because what we need to do is we need to, through the discipline that Rev and I are trying to get you guys to do over and over again to rebuild those neural pathways. Rev, I get it. Like we see these same challenges, but I also understand why. And they're really hard challenges to tackle because this isn't about willpower. If you think, man, I just don't have the willpower, it's like, look, it's not a willpower thing like that. Scientists have debunked the whole willpower thing years ago. It is about what you've created in your brain and how your neural pathways work. But the good news is we have what's called neuroplasticity. We can change all of that. And it just starts with little tiny actions. And so when you're in a coaching call and Rev says, do this, or I suggest do this, just go and do it. Just try it and try it something small. And if you can't do the big thing, break it down into smaller chunks and do a smaller thing and do the small thing consistently. Like if you're having 10 problems, like I keep moving my stops, I can't hold till target, blah, blah, blah. You've got all of them. Just pick one and just try to do that one, and I think that really is going to help a lot of people who are struggling with this kind of stuff long-term. Cause I think that there's long-term buildup here of, really just, bad habits that we've created. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I was long-term. Painful, painful long-term.
I still am. I still am.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Tano K. Taylor, you want to read Tano K's question? I think it's going to segue us into the risk type.
Well, we should go back to Matt's, and I wonder if you have like different chats because I'm not sure I'm seeing everyone. But Matt had some good questions, really going back to the emotion stuff. Yeah, so yeah,
interesting.
Journaling. Would you suggest a program or just hand? Okay, so Matt, just grab a piece of paper, man. You don't need a program. Just grab a piece of paper, write out before you take any trade for the day. You write out, this is what I'm feeling right now. And if it's fear or excitement or anything that you're like, ooh, this could cause a problem with me following my process, don't trade until you can change that. So that would be a good thing.
I don't see the questions that you have. It's really weird.
I know, right?
Yeah, I have a question from Tano K. And
okay,
I have
you go for
a couple of statements from Bongani Lewis. Okay, so Tano K asks, question, talk about finding edge. Discretionary trading versus mechanical rules. Discretionary makes me gamble and doubt my edge system. Mechanical doesn't have edge, or is it poor? How to find real edge. Okay.
Actually, I have to say, this is going to be cool because you and I have totally different systems.
It's going to be completely different. Okay, so now there's going to be two different answers to this question.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it in terms of we're at the beer garden and you ask me this question. I'm going to speak in terms of layman terms. And please understand, this is absolutely calculated in how I'm saying this. This isn't just, well, if we're sitting at the bar and you ask me. No. Edge is, very simply put, a process with an edge is a trading plan that works. A trading plan that works, or trading plan that shows profit, is a business plan that shows proof of concept, proof of edge, and proof of profitability. When we talk about discretionary edge, it's the actual same thing as mechanical edge. If you don't have the right data, your edge isn't going to shine through. If we're talking about mechanical data, mechanical edge, data, what's on the screen? If we're talking about discretionary edge, information, what's in my brain? Why did I not take that trade? Why did I take that trade? Why did I exit early? Why was I not paying attention? Why did I get out of the trade early? That isn't on the screen. So when we differentiate the two types of risk or rules, discretionary, the reason it makes you feel like you're gambling is because you have a lack of data, which gives you a lack of confidence. And so that's why we have to differentiate the two things. Taylor's going to talk more about what's on the charts, how to find the mechanical edge in what's on the charts. I'm going to dumb it down And I'm going to be like that buck-toothed cousin you got, and he's going to explain why he's filthy, filthy rich. He's going to say, because I wrote the notes down, right? I know it.
You are so
And you
entertaining.
guys are probably thinking, well, why is this guy talking like an idiot? Because I never
Love it.
want you to forget what I just said.
Yeah.
Okay. There's people that hear it several different ways. Okay. The action oriented people where they just want to boom, 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 boom. They're not going to take the time to listen to how it's laid out in the technical format of this and that. They want to know how to find the answers, and they're going to
Yeah.
find the answers. But then we get into the stability in the theory related people. They're going to want to open the textbook, and they're going to want to find out why. So that is a great question.
Yeah.
That is an amazing question. I hope I explained it dumb enough.
No, I think it was great. I
I
think
don't know if that's
no,
the
it
right
was.
word, but
I,
simple
I
enough.
I love it. I love it. And here's the thing, and I'm going to give you not necessarily a different perspective, but maybe some nuances and maybe going down a little bit more of that kind of more technical aspect. Because Reven is spot on. One of the things I love is like this idea of an edge is just all about, does it produce profitability for you? And you guys, anyone who's heard me knows I go deeper into that, and that's why I talk about the profit factor specifically, because I want to know, how do you measure profitability? How do you measure systemic profitability in your edge? And that's one of the things that I coach on and work with people on, is getting to that point where you don't you don't just think you have an edge. You can point to the actual statistic and say, this set of rules offers me an edge because I can show you the number. And that number is either the profit factor or an R value associated with it. And so that's where, like, Reven and I, at times we might sound like we're talking about different things, and we're not. We're talking about the same thing. It's just maybe another level of fidelity. How you go about, kind of validating edge. I think one of the things that you say here is really interesting. You said discretionary makes me gamble and doubt my edge system. Mechanical doesn't have edge. That's just a thought that you're having. That's just a belief, and that might be a limiting belief. And the way that you conquer that belief is to do exactly what Reven said, which is that you have got to go and do the work to validate whether a system can actually work and has profitability. If it does, I can tell you right now, I trade very mechanically, extremely mechanically, and it is extremely profitable. So and I have maybe a more nuanced definition of mechanical versus discretionary. Discretionary to me is, how much decisions making do I have to do in the moment of placing a trade? And all that is it's the fidelity of your rule set. So you can have a rule set that offers you maybe a little bit more decision making while you're in the moment, or you can have a rule set that's extremely rigid. And that's all it is. That's all the difference between mechanical and discretionary is. It's not much. And so for me, I just have an extremely rigid rule set, very rigid. Specific time, specific price. If it doesn't, I missed 2 CL trades, 2 6R CL trades. Actually, I got half of one yesterday. So 1.5 because by one tick, it did not get me in by one tick because I have very strict rules. But I'm going to make that back. I have no problem with that. I followed my process, right? So I love this. This is a great question. You're right. And there's so much that we can unpack here. But the fact of the matter is, you can learn how to build an edge, but you have to do the work. There's just work behind it.
The last statement of Tano's question is, mechanical doesn't have edge, or it is poor. How to find real edge. This brings up you hear people say, oh, don't trade on Fridays. Why? Well, Fridays doesn't produce blah, 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 blah. Why not? Well, because it does so and so. And my answer to that is, actually what you're telling me is you have a lack of data, which gives you the lack of confidence to trade on Fridays. Or, well, today's just not one of those days. It's just, it's just one of the.
I'm not
What is
feeling
one
it.
of those days? So what you're telling me is you stopped doing the work to find out how to trade One of those
Yeah.
days, because you keep telling me that these are one of those days. How come every day is one of those days? Why is it every single day? Oh, I don't know. Oh, today is just one of those hard days to trade. It's because you have a lack of data, which gives you the lack of confidence. But if you're following what your coach is telling you to do, which is trade in the simulator, screw it up, and collect the data, what's so hard about doing that? Are you trying to be right still?
I think there's a I think there's an urgency. I think that's part of the challenge is there's an urgency with a lot of traders, right? And just one of the things that I just talked about was you're in no rush, right? If you can just believe you're not in any hurry and slow down and actually do the process we talk about,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of traders are like, I don't have time. I don't have time to do all that work to validate my edge because I got to start trading right now. I got to get out of this job. I got to retire. I got to do this. I got to do that, whatever. Do you find that too? That's what I'm seeing quite a bit is this urgency that I want to skip steps because I'm in such a rush here.
100% of the time.
Yeah.
My first dealings with every single client is talking them off of that ledge, letting them know that there are so many things that come before some sort of paycheck coming out of this thing, letting them know that the money is subjective, and until they remove the money from their thoughts, they're never going to make any money in this game.
Yeah.
It is a very harsh reality when they hear it. Most of the time they don't want to hear it. Brings up the point why I charge so much for the one-on-one call. When I make it $1,000 here in the next couple months, you're really going to listen to what I tell you because you paid me $1,000 for that information. Now, right now, I'm at $300 an hour. Okay, some people think that's a lot of money. The people that have spoke with me, they go, 300. I would have paid it 1,000 times if I would have known what he was sharing with me. The point is, it's not important to you until you paid me a bunch of money to tell it to you.
Yeah.
I've said it 100 times day in and day out in the trading room, but for you to hear it, you paid me $300. I thank you for the $300. I think we could have gotten there without this. So that is always the revelation as we get on the calls, and I'm sure Taylor, you hear the same thing. It's like they'd say, "Yeah, I've heard that before." Yeah. Well, if you've heard it before, are you going to listen? Yeah, I should probably listen this time.
Yeah. It goes
Yeah,
back
you.
to that brain thing, man. I'm telling you, we have built these neural pathways for that. I love it.
And I did it too, though. I mean, I was
Yeah.
as stubborn as the next guy.
Yeah.
Actually, worse because I didn't want to pay for the coach for 10 years.
Yeah.
The second I paid for that coach, it only took me 3 days to figure out what I was doing wrong. Tell me if this ever happens, Taylor. If anyone has any more questions, we'll get to that in just a second. How many times do you get on a call with someone? Okay, and my answer is 100% of the time. And they just start telling you exactly what they're doing wrong. And then you think, what did you just pay me for? All you did was pay me to throw back at you exactly what you just told me you were doing wrong.
Yeah.
You're FOMOing, you're over trading, you're exiting too early, and you're entering too early or too late.
Yeah.
If you already have those notes, do you want me to say it to you in a different language? I don't know anything other than English, but and 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 obviously we were being silly about this, but the aha moment after you regurgitate it back to them is priceless. I'm sure you have the same effect, or it's the same effect on you. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
they're gonna listen. Oh, this is beautiful because you
Yeah.
can hear them go, oh,
Yeah, yeah. I think it's always very helpful for us to hear what we're thinking. That's why, sitting down and writing out your thoughts can be so powerful because you look at those and you're like, whoa, like no wonder I'm messed up. This is what's going through my head. This is what I'm thinking, right? And I experienced that. I also experience because the type of coaching that I tend to do is it's called causal based coaching. So really what I'm hoping to do is get down to the root cause. Like, why are you not following your rule set? Why are you not, following your process?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you moving your stop loss? Let's really dig into that. And so we're able to kind of go down the rabbit hole into just not only just like, the actions, but what are they thinking? What are they believing? Are there underlying beliefs that are actually holding people back? And that could be very powerful work, because in the end, like, the actions that we take are just merely representative of the beliefs that we're holding. And so if we can really dive into some of those things, then there's a lot of good work that could be done there. So it's a little bit of a mix of both, of one, of that recognition and awareness of, yes, what they're doing is problematic, and I see that because it's very clear right in front of me. But also, okay, now let's actually work through, how do we tackle that? And you tackle that too in your coaching. Like, that's why you have people do certain things, is because it's attacking those very specific aspects, right? Which is beautiful. That's a beautiful part of coaching, is because we can dive deeper than what you can do yourself.
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
The one thing that was just brought up that is very, very powerful, and most people don't want to hear it. The hardest part about learning how to trade is taking self inventory. Why do you overtrade? What do you do too much of outside of trading? Why? So I enter too early, I get out too early, I move my stops too early, so I'm impatient. Okay, so if you're impatient outside of trading, you're probably going to be impatient inside of trading. And so the harsh reality of having to look inwards instead of continuously blaming the charts. Well, the moving average was this and that. Yeah, but why did you take the trade? Well, because of. Yeah, but why did you move your stop up too quickly? Well, because of this on the chart. Okay, well, if everybody else that you're trading with hit their targets and you didn't, and you're all looking at the same charts, where's the disconnect? I got impatient and exited the trade early. Okay, so let's work on that. Why? Why do you keep doing it? Now, what I'm finding, Taylor, some people are addicted to the losses. Some people are addicted to that feeling of every single morning when they turn on that computer, their expectation is to lose. Now, when I say some people, I mean the old losing me. Every morning when I turn that computer on, before I turn it on, how much am I going to lose today? Self-defeating before I even started.
Mm-hmm.
We were
Yeah.
working today in the chat room. His name was Dumb Money Trader or something like that, right? So someone chimed in, how about we change it to Smart Money Trader? Well, that's actually genius, right? Think about it. If we're talking about negative self-talk, your name is Dumb Money Trader. And then other things followed. I don't really want to
Yeah.
bring that up in public as to what was said, and he kind of divulged what he was going through. And the thought was, it starts with the name.
Yeah.
The association to that name is going to prove through on every one of your actions until you change that.
Yeah.
Those are the little things that you talked about just a minute ago. Hey, just listen to your coach. Why are you going to pay your coach if you're not going to listen to him?
Yeah. Yeah. And those kinds of things are, and I think you kind of, this is what you're alluding to, is we have limiting beliefs that make us very comfortable with the results that we're attaining. So I mean, I don't know if it's addicted to losing so much as, when you lose, if you have a belief, I'm a loser in trading, I'm a consistent loser, I can't be profitable, then your brain has no dissonance there.
Mm-hmm.
There's no dissonance then when you lose. It's actually more dissonant when you win. Like your brain is like, whoa, I won. I'm not supposed to win. Right?
That's not right.
That's not right.
I
Right? That's
remember
not
that
true.
feeling. I remember that
Yeah. And
feeling. And so then what I did is I gave it all back on Friday, and I was like, ah, that's much better. I was
totally.
up 700 on the week.
Totally.
Lost
Yeah.
900 on a Friday and almost puked.
Yeah.
It was right back in my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I didn't want to admit it, but it was staring me right in the face. I
Yeah.
couldn't just FOMO and risk.
Yeah.
100% FOMO. I was told not to trade that Friday. It was non-farm payroll, just like
Yeah.
every other losing Friday that I had. Only week I had ever been up on on the week ever.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so great. I'm starting to get a hold of this. Bink.
Yeah.
Minus for the entire week.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tano had, let's see. So example.
So there's another chat too. So I'm monitoring the MFT feed.
Oh, and okay, then
So
this one, so
yeah.
then this one is your chat. Is that, do you see
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
one too?
Yeah. I can see them both. I can see them both now. Yeah. I was,
Interesting.
yeah. Yeah. I can see them. All right. So what other questions? I don't have a lot of questions over here.
So Tano,
That's for me. Yeah. So NADRO is a methodology that
oh,
that is taught by Merritt Black, and that was the original methodology that I trained on. Well, not the original. Like that was the one that really kind of put me over the edge. So I talk a lot about it on my channel. So that's what Tano's bringing up. Yeah.
so we got to do work and define better
Um,
rules. And you're answering, Tano, you're answering your own question.
yeah.
You have to do more work to define better rules. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so if you have any on the other side, one thing I want to bring up is and this is on topic but off topic, but this is very, very helpful for most people. Notice and trade doc, I hate to throw you under the bus, but just bear with me for just a second here. I'm not going to slam you, I promise. Notice that we were talking about mental edges and that kind of thing, risk versus reward and FOMO, and then trade doc says UNG and natural gas is looking like a buy. Thoughts? Okay, so now I want everyone to think about this that's going to listen to this podcast, and I want them to think, how is that trader doing in their trading? Okay, to me, what it tells me is this person doesn't make money. Okay, now that's not derogatory because maybe they're just not there in their trading yet. It also tells me that even if I told them the exact answer on how to fix their trading, they would ask me another question that has nothing to do with it. And so people go on through life just this way. It happened today in the room. We were talking about, it was the most important thing I've ever said. And then someone, I don't know if someone said something or it was just brought to the attention where the person that's going to make it versus the person that isn't going to make it, the person that's going to make it is focused on the mental thing that we were working on in the room. The person that isn't going to make it was waiting for me to shut up about the mental stuff and point out something on the chart. I think that's what it was. That's the difference between someone that's willing to look inwards and someone that's looking outwards. I was spilling straight knowledge, and all I could think of was, man, there's got to be people in here waiting for me to shut up and talk about a trade.
And I'm going to use an example with Trade Doc as well of how
Uh-oh.
you do it. so,
We're not throwing you under
so
the
just to
bus.
make
We promise.
Trade Doc feel really good, after that comment, now we see, and so some of you can't see Trade Docs because we're on two different channels, and that's fine. But Trade Doc re-engaged and is like, hey, yeah, I get it. I totally understand this mindset stuff. And then you said, hey, I'm going to give you some stuff here. And he's like, please do. I need it. Right. That's the attitude. Right. So the first attitude was, are you sure you're in the right place? Like, did you really prepare for this? We're not sure you're supposed to be here. Are you scamming? We don't know where your mindset is. Right. The next one is, hey, I'm all in. I'm all in. Please help me know what to do next. So I just wanted to give that contrast partly because
I didn't scroll down for that.
yeah, scroll down. Trade Doc, you're doing good, man. Hang in there, brother. I love it. Right. Okay. Stogie51 says, how do you determine risk in a trade so quickly? By the time I figure out the stop, sometimes the trade is gone. I mean, there's going to be two answers because we trade differently. So you want to start? Because I think he's probably working more with you than on my stuff.
Yeah, the simple answer is I'm cognizant of the stop before the trade fires. So if let's say we're waiting for a flag break, however we want to visualize that mentally. As the flag is forming, I'm fully identifying the stop wherever it could be. If it could change, could it be there? If it makes another bar, is the stop a little bit different? I fully have the stop calculated first. Stogie, I want to remind you, we trade from a stops up approach. The first thing we do is we identify the stop, and then we identify the target. Then you know where we're going with that. So that's how I can identify the stop so quick. Now moving through the ATMs, that's a whole nother story. Sometimes you have to just kind of fumble your way in using the ATMs. But trading from a stops up approach allows me to do that. Now may I not get the perfect entry? Sometimes you'll see me kind of pepper it, quarter, evens, and three quarters. I'll kind of just pepper it. I'll only get one of the fills, and then the rest of them will move away. But to answer the question, I trade from a stops up approach.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if my answer will help you because I trade differently. I have a minimum of 5 minutes before I have to place a trade when I know that I'm going to be placing a trade. So I've got time, but it's still the same approach. It's where's my stop, where's my profit target, and then where's my entry, and do I have enough R associated with it? So, and for me, my minimum R is 3R. I don't look for any trades less than that. So I work off of a 5-minute chart. So for me, it's just a little bit different, but the process is the same.
Yeah, basically the same. Ours is 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio minimum. But we, as you said, you work on a 5-minute chart. Well, we work on a 2-minute chart, so it's the same thing. It's a time. There's time in it.
So are you saying you have 2 minutes? I mean, you've got it. It sounds like you've got at least 2 minutes before you've got to make. So that's plenty of time to map out. I mean, I use TradingView, and I think the long and short position tools on TradingView is good. I'm sure NinjaTrader. I mean, I execute off Sierra Chart, but then I chart off of TradingView. And so I think all the platforms have tools where you can map out they have a little risk reward tool that's pretty easy to use. So, I usually have those mapped out and drawn. A lot of times I have them drawn even before I have a signal because I'm expecting certain things to happen in certain places. I think I've said once before, I don't like to be surprised that I have a trade signal.
Good point.
If I'm surprised I have a trade signal, then I haven't done my job.
Yeah, and that I was actually just about to add that on to what I was saying. Is if it's a surprise to you, or if you're not sure, that means you can't take the trade.
Yeah. I like it. Well, brother, we've been on for like 55 minutes, although maybe less. Sorry about the mix up. I thought that the link I sent you was the right link, but maybe not. I got to work on that and figure that one out.
It said TPF number 9, and this says TPF number 10.
That was the old link. I don't know why I put you in the old one. Okay, I don't know. We'll fix it for next time. I think we got it working, but this was great. I don't feel like we really covered the risk management one, but let's get some more detail about what people want to see there on that one. Cause I think it's just such a big topic. It's like, I don't know, like we can go
specific questions, right? Okay. Yeah. I'll just start, and then maybe someone can chime in with a question about what I'm going to share.
You want to do that now, or you want to save that for the next one?
Let's take 10 minutes. Are you still good for 10 minutes?
I'm good for 10 minutes. Let's do it. All right. We're going to do it.
Chat, you okay? They're suckling for some.
They're like, we've been on with Reven all day, but we can't get enough.
Can't get enough. Risk management. So there's two different. So risk management, you get to gloat about the stops up approach, right? So the way that we do this is we trade from a stops up approach. And so if we think about risk management, the first thing we have to know is the risk. The first thing that we have to know is what is the actual risk. Let's move outside of trading. If I'm going to buy a, if I want to buy a car and sell it, I need to know the max loss. Well, the max loss is I'm driving down the road, the car gets totaled before I get insurance on it. That's max loss. The risk, so that would be one type of risk. The other type of risk is what if I don't get all of my money back? So those are the two different types of risk. And so there's two different ways that we can think about this. Where's the risk in the dollar terms? And the other risk is where is my stop at risk of getting hit? So when we define, Stogie asked the question of how do I define the stop so quick? That isn't always the risk or the stop. That isn't everything. What I want to do is I want to define the hard risk or hard stop first. I'm just going to use numbers 50. But what if I can find less risk of a stop at 51? Those are two different types of risk.
Mm,
The risk at 50 is the monetary risk that I'm associating with the trade. The stop at 51, that risk is what is the risk of that stop getting hit as opposed to the one at 50?
I love that. Yeah, I call that probability risk. So
I
there's
love it.
monetary risk, and then there's probability risk. The probability of that being a loser versus a winner. Yeah, that's beautiful.
And
I
then
also I,
go
I
ahead.
also think of
Go
it
ahead.
like I also have like a third level risk that I think about too, and that's systemic risk.
Hmm.
So it's if if you have a set of defined rules and if you have a set of risk management rules that you follow, that your system as a whole could still be unprofitable because you don't have the right maybe risk reward ratio, or your probability risk is off, and so you're taking more losers, and so your win rate is not high enough, and that could affect the overall system that you're trading. And so that's where, going back to what Rev talked about earlier, the work we do outside of trading is the most important work. The work that we do collecting the data, doing the back testing out those different risk management schemes to make sure that we don't have systemic risk. Because the last thing you'd want to do is deploy something that looks like a really good risk management scheme and find out that over time it actually causes your system to fail more frequently. Like, that would really suck really bad. And you're perfect at following your risk management rules, but your risk management rules suck. So don't make sucky risk management rules, I guess, is the thing.
And then to build on top of what you said and then what I said, let's go one further. Opportunity risk.
Mm.
Ah, good. Something that no one ever thinks of or talks about. Good. We're going to get into it. You wait 70, you see the market rally 70 points and you short for 3 points. The opportunity risk of you taking that short is greater than the money that you're going to get from the trade.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how is that? If I make $500, that's great if I'm only risking 100. No, no, no. You're risking the opportunity to find the perfect long
Yeah.
in your process. The opportunity risk of that short is greater than most traders ever think of. Well, yeah, but it just was perfect. Perfect? So opportunity, and it's called opportunity cost, right? This is the first thing they teach you in Econ 201, 202, 210. They want you to expand on the opportunity cost of the dollar chasing the good that could be greater than the whatever. It's the same thing. You wait all day, you let it rally all day, and then you take a short. And then
Mm-hmm.
you're excited because you caught a short. And then your coach goes, No.
Yeah.
And you go, what? It was perfect. I mean, look, I got the risk reward. Taylor was telling me about the profit factor. Okay, what was the opportunity cost of that? Well, what do you mean? Well, I went long and I caught 10 points while you were trying to get that 3 points on that short.
Yeah.
Hmm.
RP makes a really great comment. I was going to comment on this too. This morning we were on the call with you on the live stream, and the market was pretty nasty this morning. It was just really kind of choppy, and there weren't really good favorable opportunities, and there were people still trying to just squeeze out of this crappy market something out of nothing. And you talked about there's mental energy risk here, right? And that is the opportunity risk, because you're exerting the mental energy now and you're taking losses or break evens and you're getting frustrated and all this other stuff. That is setting you up for not being prepared for the real move down the road.
And what happened?
I love this idea of opportunity risk. It's
And
so
what happened? Taylor, exactly what you're saying. Exactly what I said happened.
yeah.
Exactly what I said was going to happen happened. Now I want to be clear with everyone that's watching this. I'm not here to be right. I'm here to make money. And what he's referring to is the market was absolutely hideous in
Yeah.
terms of proper whatever people say. This is where Top Step and all the prop firms make all their money, is on days like today. So my job as your coach is to keep you safe. And what I said was, while this is going to move around and chop you out, and you're going to expend all of your mental bandwidth, when it actually makes the move, you're going to be so exhausted or wiped out in your account that you're going to miss the move. Sure enough, if you look at the chart, it did exactly what we said was going to happen. And now let's talk about, okay, so what happened in the trading room with all the people that were talking about it? They were already wiped out. Only those of us that didn't exert all the mental bandwidth in that nasty chop, only us were able to take that Loch Ness monster out of there into the 50s that we're at now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the opportunity cost of everybody sitting there struggling. Oh God, when the coach that they pay was telling them the whole time, there's nothing to see here. And
Yeah.
then account after account after account after account, blown out, blown out, blown out. Only 53% of my traders were green. That's very low. Normally we're at like 71, 72%. And then the hard part, Taylor, and I know you're empathetic about this as well as I am, and it makes my heart bleed. At the end of the session, they have to go, damn, Rev said exactly what was going to happen, and I didn't listen to him. Remember, I'm not here to be right. I'm here to make money. I'm here to help you guys make money. If I can keep you from losing money, that's making money. The opportunity cost of you guys trading this chop garbage, you're finding out the true cost of trading it. It's not just the losses, it's all of the wins that you missed because you're too busy doing whatever people do.
100%. 100%. I love it. That's a great way to end.
Perfect. We're done.
All right. As always, guys, you can join Reven's stream. If you're not already on, you really should be. Reven offers great coaching. How else can people get a hold of you? Is this the best way?
Yeah, just click on his link, free 7 day trial. That way you have no obligations. You can, you just cancel it before the trial's over if you don't like it. Other than that, yeah, just join us in the room and just keep an open mind. It's not what you've ever seen. Not I'm going to show you things you've never seen before. And what I mean by that is, not only is it going to be on the chart, but we're going to talk about, more importantly, what's not on the charts.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. It's awesome. It's awesome. You do great work, man. I
Thank you.
love working with you. I love these chats. I love these chats. I
Fired
do.
up, Taylor. We're ready.
I know. I want to get some other traders on here too. So some of the traders that we work with, we're going to invite them on and have them
Good.
come in. And I think that's going to be awesome too. So
It's going to be awesome seeing the success stories
yeah.
because people They want to believe that it's real.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
know.
wait till we get David on here for a second time. Wait till you guys hear this guy's story. What? It's going to be great.
I love it. I love it. All right, you guys. Rev, thank you a ton. All right, you guys. Peace out.